Alrighty, and with that being said and done, hello there everybody, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever it is that is the local time zone you guys air right now. The time is currently 3:07 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, temperature is sitting at a pretty mid-50s right now at 55 degrees Fahrenheit. But with that being said and done, moving away from the weird weather and time talk right there, I want to personally welcome you guys to a little bit of a beta-ish type of thing I kind of want to try out. We'll see how this goes, and then depending on how this entire thing goes through, I might revisit this more down the road, maybe try to make it look a little bit better. We'll see. But today is just going to be a fun little beta pitch pilot soft thing. I don't know how to best put these words together beyond what it is. And I'll try my best to make it as simplified as much as possible. But God only knows how far this rabbit hole is basically going to go downhill. But with that being said and done, moving away from all that stuff right now. But now trying to get it back onto track here. Welcome. This is a session I personally like to call Flipping the Script. And for quick context of why I call it Flipping the Script, well, there's a bit of a fun little three-parter, two-parter, we'll see. Truly, I don't remember. But there's a fun little three-parter for this, and we're going to show that off right now. So first and foremost, we're going to say Sayonara Natsunohi to the good old PS5 for a little bit. And Aloha to the Elgato capture device. We're going to say aloha again for just a couple of seconds while I get stuff set up on my other thing. One key note that I want to point out, and this should have been my main priority instead of what I did, I should have really invested in purchasing an HDMI switcher instead of spending my money on a third monitor. Did I learn my lesson? I'll be completely honest, I don't think so. But regardless, I should have really invested in an HDMI switcher. I should have, that is going to be on my to-do list still. So, yeah, give me just 2 more seconds because I forgot that I didn't do stuff right on my side. Almost there. Alright. We should be ready to go. Almost ready to go. Alright. Go over here. Oops, that was also popped up on that screen. Alright. And with that being said and done, let us showcase part 1 of why I call it Flipping the Script. So basically, as you can tell, I'm currently streaming live over on Twitch. But not only am I streaming live over on Twitch, I am also locally recording this for you guys on YouTube as well. So hello there, YouTube. This is being streamed live and locally recorded on the 26th of January. And there's another reason for why I say local recording. And it's not going to make sense right now because it's the channel debut. But in due time, and if I do another one of this, then it will make more sense. Because if I were to explain it more in the terms that I could say, or depending on how I could say it, it might not make a lot of sense. So, even I don't even know what the fuck I'm saying right now. But to kind of get us back on the track here, so yeah, this is basically part 1 of why I call it Flipping the Script. Part 2, actually, I'm in the wrong section here. I hit the wrong one. We'll go over here to basically the only video that's available. And basically, we'll go all the way to the very beginning. And this is exclusively only on Twitch. So you guys on YouTube, you will not be getting this. So basically, as you can tell, for a good couple of minutes, I like to keep it around 50 minutes to an hour. I like to keep it around that range. I basically just do pre-stream music, or I just play music off of my Spotify account for a good bit. During the pre-stream music, I am basically either taking a nap. Basically, I'm either taking a nap, I'm procrastinating in another room, or I'm in this room procrastinating, or my personal favorite, I am eating lunch. Either I'm going to get some takeout from my local McDonald's or Wingstop, or I'm just warming up whatever I have in the house. So that's basically what it is. But regardless, I do like to keep that, at least the pre-show music, around roughly 50 minutes to an hour, depending on how much I'm planning on doing today. If I were to just do like a 2-game stream, which might happen in some occasions, then instead of having like an hour or whatever, we'll dim it down to 30-ish minutes. So, yeah. And yeah, that's basically just the entire gist of basically part 2. Part three, I don't remember if there was a part three. So I think that's basically the entire thing that, well, for you guys on YouTube, this is basically what happens beforehand. And then for Twitch, this is basically just other stuff. But yeah, that's basically just the entire thing right there. So that's just something. So one thing that I do want to do is that while I can't play my actual Spotify music for you guys over on YouTube, what I do want to do is actually play some stuff in the background. So I have something that I want to try to play some stuff in the background right now. So this comes from the YouTube channel called Gaming Productions, and this is some relaxing JRPG music to sleep or study to. And starting it up is from a game called Dot Hack Infection, which I've always been kind of interested in playing Dot Hack. It's like one of those RPGs that I want to try out. I just haven't gotten a chance to. I do know that there is a remastered. Uh, Hang on, give me 2 seconds while I switch. Actually, I just realized I'm not even on the PS5 thing again. Fucking buy a capture card, idiot. But getting back onto track here. So I think it's called like the Dot Hack. It's one of the Dot Hack games. I forget what it's called. It was called like Dot Hack like something that contained. It was like a remastering of all of the games into one game plus an additional well, it had almost all of them except for one because I think one of them was like an MMO, so they couldn't do that one. But I think it was like every collection, including a never before like the final entry type of thing. So I'm looking at it right now. It was called. No, actually, it's not this. Where is it? Oh, it was called Dot Hack. Last. Sorry, I fucked up. It was a game called Dot Hack Last Recode from 2017, released for the PS4 and PC. And basically, it is actually like a remake of like the games of the Dot Hack franchise or whatever, all made available on the PlayStation and PC. So yeah, that's just something right there. And that's again, I do kind of want to. Actually, I just realized that there's not been any music playing in the background. I actually thought something was actually playing, but it turns out, um, apparently, hang on, what? I actually thought I had something. Hang on, give me like 2 seconds while I try to figure this out. I fucking love Chrome with all my heart. Is it this one? That is kind of weird right now that it's not. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds while I do it over here. There we go. I think I finally got something to be playing in the background. I did. Thank you, Christ. So yeah, basically what you're listening to in the background right now, finally, is from a YouTube channel called Gaming Productions, and it's called Relaxing JRPG Music to Sleep or Study to. Once again, the song we're starting up with is from Dot Hack Infection, which is on my to-do list. So I want to get to that game at some point. And yeah, that's basically just in general the entire gist of it right now. I kind of did lose my track because I got like paranoid because I looked at the OBS and I realized nothing's been playing. So I was like, oh yeah, I forgot Chrome does that weird thing where like if I close like some tabs or like if I close something, it does like some weird shit. So I was like, fuck. Unless I can fix it on here, but I don't remember. But yeah, but with that being said and done, welcome onto the stream. We've spent a good 9 minutes or so, kind of lost, but let's try to get things back onto topic. So one thing that I do want to showcase right now, and we'll go all the way back to the live channel right now. So one thing is that if you go over to the chat room and you type in the command for the good old schedule, basically you'll be getting a Nightbot link, and you'll be redirected to basically my at the moment my temporary place for the streaming schedule until I get access to the YouTube posts. So at the moment, this is currently what we have planned for the streaming schedule for this week. Now I do want to point out that while this is basically what looks to be like my final schedule, um, there is some subject to change. So potentially like there might be some changes here and there. so do get ready for that one. So to kind of give you guys a bit of a quick rundown onto our streaming schedule for this weekend, today and tomorrow we'll be taking a look at a game called Dragon Quest HD Remake or HD 2D Remake. I'll talk a little bit about that in just a couple of minutes. Uh, Tomorrow as well, like we're looking at a bit of a double stream. With Tuesday, we're going to be looking at Dynasty Warriors Origins, which I'm kind of excited to be looking at that game. I was able to play a good bit of that game, and it was actually kind of fun, so I'm excited to be looking into that one. And then for our follow-up stream, which I personally like to call the Encore stream, which an Encore is basically just a second stream I do later in the afternoons, more exclusive to like my days off. We'll be taking a look at another double game, which is going to be Minecraft and Cookie Clicker. Wednesday, we'll be starting up our next RPG, a bit of a two-part RPG day. It is going to be on Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be taking a look at Shin Megami Tensei 5. I think that's the Roman numeral. We'll be taking a look at Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. So I'm excited to be looking into that one. I've been very curious with the Megami Tensei franchise as a whole. Friday, we'll be back to Dynasty Warriors Origins. Saturday, we'll be taking a look at the Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties demo, which I'm excited for that one. And then Sunday, we'll be back to Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. So that is currently our lineup for this weekend. Once again, there might be some changes, so kind of get ready for that one. But to kind of give you guys a bit, once again, to kind of give you guys a bit of that quick rundown right now. So today and tomorrow, we're gonna be playing some Dragon Quest. I'm excited. The only thing that I generally know about this franchise as a whole is the fact that, well, in my personal opinion, I feel like Dragon Quest kind of takes the step backwards in terms of like Square Enix's like game roadmap, because I feel like they're mostly prioritizing on both Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts, bad RPGs. So that's basically just something that I know a couple of things about this franchise, and with Dragon Quest 11, apparently Dragon Quest 11 is like the first in the series, so I don't know. I kind of just wanted to look at the very first Dragon Quest, if that makes sense. So that's why I decided today to play like this one. Also, the game's not particularly long. I think I saw like, let me take a quick look again, because I think like, you can beat the game in under 10 hours if you're not like doing some stuff. To which it's like early game. It's an early game, so there shouldn't be like too much in terms of like side stuff to do. It's just like a main story. So maybe the second one, but I don't think about for the first one or so. So let me see. Somehow led me into... Oh, I fucked up. I put the Dragon Quest 3. Dragon Quest 1 and 2. Main story, or at least I think for both stories in total, is like roughly 32 and a half hours. But, apparently, I think it's like only for game 1. We should be able to like beat the game within 2 days. So that's why. And then we'll hold off the second game for a little bit more down the road. So yeah. So that would be our game plan for that one. So yeah. Like I mentioned, I generally know a little bit about Dragon Quest. One of them was basically that I kind of do feel like it has taken a bit of a backseat compared to stuff like Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts. That's just what I feel. This is basically like, and also like going back to Dragon Quest 11. I know like the character Luminary is like a guest fighter in Smash Ultimate. That's another thing that I'm aware of. And Ichiban Kasuga from Like a Dragon apparently likes Dragon Quest. So that's why I kind of wanted to get into this franchise. And I remember back in my youngin days, I owned a copy for Dragon Quest. I don't remember which one though. It was like one with it was like one for the DS. And it was like something about a golden train, or something about a golden train and angels. So that is basically all that I know about Dragon Quest. Is that Ichiban Kasuga from Like a Dragon loves it, and I apparently played one about like angels and a train and shit. That's generally all I know about this franchise. So yeah. But overall said and done, I am very fascinated by this like game series, to say the least, and we'll see how we go. So yeah, like I said, this game shouldn't be as long. I think like the only thing that might be like the lengthiest might be just the grinding session. So that's basically what we're gonna be doing. I am also aware like of the metal slimes in general. So there you go. And oh yeah, I forgot. Also, one more thing is that the guy that did Dragon Ball basically worked on was like the designer or something. So that's all I know now. So there we go. That's all I know about this franchise as a whole. Like saying Dragon Ball again makes it's like kind of interesting because I do not remember. Well, no, I'm lying to myself. I remember watching Dragon Ball back when it first aired back on like Toonami, and that was like I don't even remember when like when Toonami first like the first iteration of Toonami back then on Adult Swim, like trying to pass my bedtime and shit. So I forget. It was like that one along with one kid, not one kids, One Piece, and yeah, that was like my earlier introduction to anime, and then Naruto, and then after Toonami ended, I really never went back to watch those shows. I did try to give One Piece a shot again, but after an episode, and I was watching it when I was sick, I ended up passing out, and then I realized we're like 40, 50 minutes in, or not 40, 50 minutes. I'm already at episode 10, and I just completely clocked myself out. So, I don't know. I think I just didn't connect well to Luffy and his adventures to locating that one piece of the whatever. So, I don't know. I've never went back. I don't know why. It's like with One Piece, I couldn't really get myself into, but like Detective Conan, I was able to watch all the episodes and the movies. So Detective Conan is my One Piece, and I will die on that hill. I don't care. But yeah, also because I think I prefer more of a like a Sherlock Holmes type of vibe compared to like the open seas pirates. I think that might be what it is. So I think that's the case. So preferably like the Sherlockian type of thing. But yeah, I kind of lost track here for a couple of minutes, and I think we're basically done with this section right here because I've already talked about the streaming schedule and shit. But yeah, again, that is basically just everything that you generally need to know about the whole channel as a whole. We're 17 minutes in. I kind of want to yap for a little bit longer. Kind of want to try to go for like 50, like an hour or so. So yeah. For a quick introductory wise, I stream almost every single day. The only days I cannot promise to be streaming a lot is on Saturday. The core reason why I don't stream on Saturday a lot is because of my work schedule. Basically, just for not going into not going into full depth about my personal life, but my company. I hear kids outside right now. Oh yeah, it's like 3:25, so school's already out. But basically, wise to get to kind of get us back onto track here. So, God, I got tossed away because there's like kids outside playing. What was I talking? Oh yeah. So basically, wise, I stream almost every single day, except Saturday. Now the reason for why I can't stream on Saturdays, and trust me, I would love to stream on Saturdays, some Saturdays. At my work, where I'm basically scheduled to be operating every Wednesday through Saturday. Now you might be asking yourself, Wednesday through Saturday, that doesn't sound like hours or some shit. I don't know how to best describe it. But on Saturday wise, and this is kind of like why I don't like my job promotion to say the least. Um, it, so I basically work a graveyard shift, but after my graveyard shift, I also have to come in and work the midnight shift the following afterwards. Now, that sounds all nice and dandy, but my major problem is that I'm supposed to kind of like take a quick nap or something, try to get a little bit rested before I actually do go to work. Here's the thing. I can't fucking sleep when I get home. That's the biggest problem. I always have too much energy. So, it's basically kind of a struggle to kind of like it's basically kind of like a struggle to basically try to like come home after like basically of working and then trying to go to sleep and then realizing I'm waking up every like hour or two. So potentially I need to kind of try out those like remedies, like maybe get some like NyQuil or some shit. I don't know, but I need something to kind of go to put me into sleep mode. But we'll be streaming this Saturday. Not gonna be too long of a stream, like maybe 2 or 3 ish hours. We'll see. We'll be taking a look at the Kiwami 3 demo, so kind of excited for that one. I'm not 100% certain I'll be streaming Kiwami 3, just because like, and one thing that I do want to say that I want to do on this channel is kind of like be a little bit of the prerequisites of starting some other games. So like with me personally, like touching the Like a Dragon franchise, the one thing that I kind of do want to do prior is that I do want to look at some games, preferably the Virtual Fighter and Shenmue. Now, the reason for why I name drop those two games right now is that Virtual Fighter, or I think it's best to also go to Shenmue first before we go to Virtual Fighter. Well, one, I am kind of interested in looking at Virtual Fighter 6 whenever that gets announced. I think that should be sometime this year, depending. We'll see. We'll see. Um, but with Shenmue, there's two core reasons. Core reason one is that it'll be Virtual Fighter first, then Shenmue. But with Shenmue, is that originally it was supposed to be like a Virtual Fighter RPG that basically became its own thing. I think like the code name for Shenmue before it was called that was called like Virtual Fighter RPG. I think that's what like its a code name was. So there you go. And then number two is the fact that Nagoshi, the guy that would go on, that is currently creating his own game called King of Dragons, is was also involved in this project, and basically kind of ties into Like a Dragon because he's the guy that also basically created the franchise for it. So in addition to creating the upcoming King of Dragons game, you also have the Yakuza Like a Dragon franchise because of Nagoshi. So that's basically just that's all of the core reasons why I want to kind of like play those two games before we start up the Like a Dragon franchise. But if I do start up Kiwami 3, I think the game releases on the 11th of February. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna boot up my Steam account on this one. So here we are on my good old Steam account. I think it's like, oh, High Guard is out. Let's check the Steam reviews quickly before anything else. Fucking mostly negative. That is not a good sign. Wasn't like the game released today? It was like kind of controversial in terms of like how it was basically handled because like there has been no steady announcement of this game until today. It was announced at the Game Awards. Nobody liked it, and then out of nowhere, basically just decided to shadow drop today. So, yeah. So, also I'm not a big fan of like FPS shooters. So personally, I'm not really that interested into it. I say that, and like the only like FPS shooter that I basically played was Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and I kind of hated it because like that's the only way to unlock some weapons in zombies mode, which is the thing that I fuck with the most. So yeah, the only FPS game I ever played was Black Ops Cold War. I don't tend to do team matches a lot because I feel like I'll be a letdown, so I just do hardcore free for all. So yeah, that's basically it. But seeing that High Guard currently has not that doesn't look good. So yeah, here we are, Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties right now. Please enter your birthday to continue. Easy, I was born in fucking 1990. So yeah, here we are in Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties. This is a game that's going to be releasing on the 11th. That should be on a... Oh, that's on a Wednesday. Really good, actually. I can... What's also really good, too, because, fun fact, on that Wednesday, I'm actually requested some vacation time that week, which is why I'm also going to be playing this game. But in terms of, like, if I will stream this game, personally, I don't know. I feel like if I do end up streaming this game in 2 weeks, I might just stream it on the PC port. And then, the main thing that kind of throwing me off with this series is that I'm trying to figure out which console I want to play, like, the main franchise in. And, like, you know, play the PC port for, like, some mods. So that's basically the kind of thing. That's basically just the one thing I'm kind of running into right now. Because there's, like, maybe an occasion where I might just run, like... So it's either between the PlayStation or the Xbox. And I'm kind of leaning more towards the Xbox, and the main reason for that is basically like back when I first got into this franchise, I played it basically on my laptop. So I had the Xbox controller, so I'm more accustomed to the Xbox thing more than the PS thing. And if I were to play like the original Yakuza 3, 4, and 5, I really do not want to play it on the PS4 with this fucking joy, like the joy thing. So we might play it on the Xbox. So that potentially is what we're looking at. But yeah, but with that being said, then Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties, I am very excited to be playing this. I did get a chance to play the demo too, so I don't have the demo installed on this PC, but I did actually try out the demo last when it did get announced, and it was actually kind of fun. Actually, I was actually having some great time with it, exploring the section of the city they give you in. Kind of am worried about how big the Okinawa map is gonna be compared to what like the original 3 was. So that's like the one thing I'm worried about, along with basically there's a couple of things I'm kind of worried about in general. But one thing is that I am kind of interested to see the old Dragon of Dojima is basically the fighting style mixed with a little bit of the guidance stuff. Ryukyu kind of need to get a bit of a hang with it, so that's gonna be something. And then with Mine, it's gonna be basically just a fun little finding out what to do type of thing. But yeah, that's mostly all I know about Kiwami 3 as a whole. It has been a while since I've last played Yakuza 3, so trying to remember stuff about the original game is gonna be kind of difficult. The only thing I generally remember about the original Yakuza was the fact that as I keep name dropping Yakuza, is that in the original, because I think it copied elements from the previous game, which we do not have a localized release for, Kenzin, enemies were basically be blocking because I think they kind of like their AI was basically kind of thinking like you had a weapon or some shit. So that's basically what happened. It was the beginning of the karaoke minigame, and yeah, Yakuza 3 basically was like the beginning of what made people, well, it was mostly Yakuza 5 or well, to be more exactly, it was Yakuza 0, because I think 0 was like the Sega's last chance, or RGG's last chance to market the game in America. So it was mostly Yakuza 0 in general that kind of like broke that like the thing, when also in 2020 as well with the Bakumitai meme. So yeah. But yeah, overall said done, like I said, I am excited to be playing this game. But as I do mention, I don't know if I'll be streaming this game on release day. But if I do end up streaming this game, I might just play it on PC. So, there you go. And then when we actually do play the games in the right order, we'll be playing it on either like the PS5 or the Series X. So, PS4, maybe PS5, and then Series X and the Xbox One. So, I have a weird habit of playing games on the consoles they were released with. So like a prime example would be like with Dot Hack, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, the Dot Hack Recode. Because the game was released back in 2017, then I basically would just be playing it on the PS4, or I would basically play it on PC. We'll see. Dragon Quest 11, because that game also released like, I forget when, but it was like maybe 2017, 2018. Because of that, I don't want to cover it on the PS5. I kind of want to cover it on the PS4. But I might also change my hand and we'll buy it on the PC. So we'll see. I think Dragon Quest Builders is available on PC only. I think the first one or the second one, and then one of the other ones is included in the Switch. So I think that'll be the only time I'll have to bust out the Switch, the fucking 30 FPS type of thing. But I digress from there. Alright, so we're 29 minutes into the session right now. I want to take this opportunity to kind of like reintroduce the stream, and then we'll talk a little bit more, and then we'll just kind of be close to our wrap-up point. So if you're just coming in or skimming through the video right now to see like if anything important is really going to be happening, to which, spoiler alert, maybe not. I don't really fucking know. I can't really tell the future right now. But to kind of get us back on the track here. So basically, if you're just coming into the session right now, basically what we're doing is we're doing a bit of a quick little hangout, a little bit of a good little chilling session before we jump into today's game. This is a session this is a segment I personally like to call Flipping the Script. For quick context, if you're just coming in, Flipping the Script is basically just a little segment I like to do where basically I'm just kind of yapping for a little bit before we jump into today's game. It's not going to be every time, but here and there I might pop in for a little bit just to kind of like yap, and then we'll jump straight into game. And yeah, the music that we're listening to in the background right now is from the YouTube channel called Gaming Productions. It is called Relaxing JRPG Music to Sleep or Study to, and currently we're listening to Breath of Fire 3. Also, I forgot to mention the music that we listened to earlier during the pre-stream music, which for you guys on YouTube, you do not get that because of copyright stuff. But for Twitch, I basically do some pre-stream music over there. But to give you guys a bit of a quick rundown on the pre-stream music, we go to a band called Happy End from their debut album from back in 1970. It's a song called Hario Koi. And something interesting about this band is that it had two key notable members that would go on to find successes in other groups as well. One being Eiichi Otaki, who would later go on to find both Sugar Babe and Niagara Triangle, which also they also contain like at least some notable members as well, being the king of city pop himself, Tatsuya Yamashita, and Taiko Onoki, who I need to actually listen to one of her songs at some point. And then the other one being Harumi Hosono, who would later go on to find Tin Pan Alley and Yellow Magic Orchestra. So, yeah. That was basically our pre-stream music for today. Basically, during pre-stream music, I'm either taking a quick nap, procrastinating, or I am eating takeout or whatever it is in the house. There you go. That was our kind of like a fun little midpoint type of thing. And yeah, that's basically just the entire thing right now. And basically we're kind of just talking a little bit about the Yakuza Kiwami 3 and Dark Tides demo, because I will say right now, I have been on Reddit, so I have seen a little bit of the data leak shit, so I am kind of aware of some stuff. Luckily, I do have a selective memory, so by the time the game does come out, I am 90% certain. I'm mostly 90% certain that I won't remember shit. I kid you not, like my memory, if I can't remember, or if I somehow do or cannot remember, I generally have some form of goldfish memory here, because there are certain stuff I can't remember. But like, I have like a little bit of that selective goldfish memory, because like I could still remember like my high school like pin code for like my lunch shit. My badge number, my old like email password, all that stuff. So I still remember all of that. But if you were to tell me like what the fuck my last purchase was like 2 days ago, I can tell you right now, if it was like non-important, then generally I will never remember what the fuck I bought 2 days ago. But yeah, that's just something right there. So yeah, once again, talking about Kiwami 3 and Dark Tides, again, I am excited for this one. Getting to see a brand new Okinawa, and then going back to Kamurocho again. The demo itself, like what I did play, is kind of interesting. Now, the one thing that I do kind of want to basically like about this franchise as a whole, not trying to defend the actions of, the stuff here, but the one thing that I do want to say that I'm impressed with is how well they basically handle their demos. To a degree. Because there are some shit they do need to kind of try to stop doing. But to kind of give you guys a bit of a quick rundown on what I mean, and we'll basically go all the way to Like a Dragon Gaiden. Great game. So yeah, here we are at Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name. Really good game. Basically, upon completing this game, and also, I think it's like the biggest file size in general, because I think the game clocks in at like close to, where is it? Like 98, like close to 100 gigabytes of storage. And the core reason for that, and I feel like many people consider it's like the cabaret shit, but my personal belief is because of the special trial that it's included in this one. So for quick context, and this is going to be me nerding out for a little bit. So upon completing Like a Dragon Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, you basically also unlocked a little bit of a side content, or a bit of a special trial version for the upcoming Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth game when this was released. So basically, before I think Infinite Wealth got released, which I think was back in January of the 2024, they basically let you basically get a bit of a quick grasp of the demo prior to the game's release, which was kind of interesting. Now, what was interesting about the Infinite Wealth demo was the fact that it contained it had two scenarios. One of those scenarios basically being the story demo, which the story demo basically was like it put you at a certain point of the game. But what I liked about it was that while it did kind of follow the original storyline of Infinite Wealth, it kind of changed a little bit of the narrative, and by that also basically being, and here's a spoiler for the story demo, is that you actually play like a small segment of as Kiryu in Hawaii before you would later go on to find Ichiban, which had like its own little side thing. Now you also had like a little bit of a limited area of Hawaii to visit. Like I don't think you could go to the beach, and as well as like you couldn't go to the shopping mall for like the class changes, which would make sense because it was pretty early chapter. So realistically, I think you can only go up to like the karaoke bar, and then just like to, and then just go straight to the main story with a little bit of minimal level of restrictions, I think. So that was something right there. And like I said, you had access to karaoke, which you had two songs. One of them being Like a Dragon's Hell Stew. The reason why I say that is because Infinite Wealth's Hell Stew was progressively a little bit more difficult. And then you also had the Return of Judgment, which had not been seen since Yakuza 0. So, you know, that was kind of interesting right there. And then you also had a bit of a special boss fight included in the story demo. And that basically just wraps up that segment for right there. And then the second one was basically the Hawaii demo. I'm about to burp. Do apologize for that. I did get some McDonald's a little bit earlier, so there you go. But to kind of get back onto track here, and then you had the second demo, which was called the Hawaii demo. Now, the Hawaii demo is a little bit more open, so that was something a little bit great. You had basically had a little bit more access to the Hawaii map, except like I think you didn't have access to the upper part, a little bit of the upper part of the first island, as well as you had no access to the second island. So realistically, there was not a lot of stuff you could do. But there's not a lot of stuff you could do in the Hawaii demo, but there was like a good chunk. Like you got to play a little bit of the Uber Eats like bike mini game. Karaoke added a new song, which was to Chitose's Honolulu City Lights, which, fun fact with the demo song for that one is that they used the demo mix for Chitose's thing when you hover her song for a little bit. And which is even more funnier because in the final one, they did basically update it to include the final mix. So I kind of find that very funny. So yeah, you basically had a little bit more, and then that was basically in terms of that. You had like Sicko Snap, and then the Uber Eats one. So that was basically it, and a couple of sub stories you can kind of experience. And you also had access to the class change, but they also kind of like changed a little bit the narrative because of the whole how they kind of changed a little bit about how Ichiban was arrived in Hawaii type of vibe thing. So if you played the final game of Infinite Wealth, then you kind of know what I understand with, or then maybe you understand what I'm talking about, since the demo of Hawaii takes place after, like, Ichiban drops in Hawaii, and after the boss fight. So yeah, that's basically just one thing about the entire Hawaii demo for Gaiden. So that's my personal belief of where that 100 gigabyte file size was because of the mass amount of stuff they included in that thing. Next thing we'll go over, and we'll jump over to the Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, another good game to say the least. So basically you had this one right here, which was the next demo they released. Something I found very unique with this demo is the fact that compared to is that they kind of like, I don't know how to best explain it. The demo for Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii was a little bit interesting because like you had a little bit more area of Hawaii to explore, but it was still kind of the similar, like no, because they didn't let you go to the shopping area, but they did kind of like let you go like the good first half of the map. So overall said and done, like it was kind of interesting. They did give you karaoke. One thing that I did note, and there's like, and I like to call it the Tokyo Game Show build, and then there's the public demo. I don't know if there was an infinite. I do know there was a Gaiden Tokyo Game Show demo, but we never got that one. There was no demo publicly released for this one. But the Infinite Wealth Special Trial, or the Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii demo that we got, was a little bit different compared to the Tokyo Game Show. And the one thing that I do remember when I watched the game show's presentation for this is that originally Majima did have a second heat bar like right under here. So the fact that they got rid of it was kind of interesting. I personally believe it was also because like heat bar was not that bad in terms of like content or in terms of thing, but it's also has been a good while since I've also played Pirate Yakuza, so there you go. But also the three new karaoke songs, you had access to The Sun at 36.5, which was the new Majima song, the return of 24 Hour Cinderella, and then the new song of oh no, and then the return of As Long As You're Happy. So yeah. But I do kind of like the idea of like where they took the demo for Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, which where they take this place in the demo is that you basically start immediately in Hawaii, and then you wrap up at the Madlantis, which and an interesting thing from the final game is that before like Hawaii is basically like the final area you go to in the main game, and you actually go to Madlantis first. So the idea of that is basically like interesting. Along with the fact that I forgot to mention is that in the original, in the Tokyo Game Show build, you actually had access to Dragon Cart, but here, you did not have access to it. I think like the public demo did actually let you like before you were to leave Hawaii, you could actually like go to the thing, if that makes sense, or you could actually go ahead, like you can actually go check the place out, or you could actually maybe see it from an angle. So, yeah. There you go. And then finally, we get to the current demo of Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties, which again had a Tokyo Game Show build and both a game show build as long with a other thing. And the core thing that I do recognize with the Kiwami 3 Tokyo Game Show is that you didn't, with the public demo for this one, you didn't have access to Bad Boy Dragon. So there you go. And then another thing that I noticed is and this kind of comes from Pirate Yakuza and this one too, is that you don't really get to see your abilities. Now, I kind of do hope, like, maybe if they do another one of this, they kind of let us see the ability, not like the final abilities, but at least, like, just the abilities that we have access to. Because, like, one thing that I do want to do on Saturday stream is kind of look at the heat, most of the newer heat actions in general. So I feel like that could be really cool. Instead of like going onto a YouTube video to try to find out how many there is. So there you go. Now, that's basically all I will kind of yap about for the good things about Kiwami or the demo builds as a whole. Now let's kind of get into the negative, which I think is just the main part. The main negative of them releasing the demo builds is that for some fucking reason, and I don't know whose idea or how they do it, apparently in the final versions or even in the demos, you have access to the story elements of the game, which has resulted in basically Reddit basically data mining the game and basically just releasing everything about it. So holy shit, there's been a lot of leaks right now that I've seen on Reddit. And this, seeing Kiwami 3, while I am excited to look into this game, the thing that kind of concerns me the most is how are they gonna handle Kiwami 4? Because I feel like that's what they're doing right now. They're Kiwamiing this one, they're gonna Kiwami 4, they're gonna Kiwami 5, and then somehow down the road they're gonna Kiwami 0, calling it Like a Dragon Kiwami 0 Director's Cut, Electric Boogaloo. And then they're gonna fucking do another one for Yakuza Kiwami, like Kiwami type of shit. Electric Boogaloo type of thing. And then 6. And then Kiwami 2 again. Let's be honest, it might happen, to say the least. And then out of all that, we're gonna be getting some updates on, I don't know, other things. But honest to God, I feel like that's what they're gonna be doing. So yeah, like I said, but regardless, I am gonna be buying this game. But I don't know when I'll be streaming this. I don't know if I'll be streaming this game or I'll be playing it off the stream. I might actually stream it just because like I do have the vacation time in 2 weeks for it. So potentially I might just stream it. So maybe. So yeah, that's gonna be something to look forward to. And like I said, if I do end up playing this game beforehand, then I will gladly play it on PC, and then we'll play it again on Series X or PlayStation. Another game I'm kind of interested in is the Resident Evil Aquarium, which is said to be also released in February. So fuck you, February. You're wasting a good amount of money on these couple of games. I think like those are like the two biggest games for me personally that I'm excited for, and that's basically it. Um, so yeah, that releases on the 26th. That is on a Thursday, the last Thursday of the month. Um, I don't know. I might do the same thing like I do with Kiwami, where I'll just stream it, but I'll play it on PC, and then we'll play it on PlayStation 5 when I get the chance to. And yeah, that's basically just the idea that I want to do. So, you know, that's basically what we're looking at for the most part. I am very excited to be looking at this game. The only thing that I don't know about this one personally is the fact that I think the girl character, like I think her name was Grace like Ashcroft or something. I don't remember her last name. Apparently, like her character is connected to another Resident Evil game called Outbreak, which was like a PS2 art like online type of thing. Like that's the only like in terms of like my Resident Evil knowledge as a whole, I'm pretty much aware of 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I've never played the original 0, 1, 2, 3. Well, I played 2 and 3 remake, but I've never played the original along with the Code Veronica. So, um, that's mostly all I know about Resident Evil as a whole, right there. So, yeah. But overall said that I am kind of excited to see what this aquarium is gonna be like. Because from their showcase that they demonstrated that it's gonna be like two separate type of like game mechanics. Like Leon's gonna be akin to 4, while Grace is gonna be more akin to like a horror type of vibe type of thing. So maybe something similar to like 7. So I'm excited for that. So yeah, like I said, I am excited for this game to be released. Won't take the time off from work for it, but you know. And that's gonna be basically my entire monthly earning for the month of February. I will be broke by that month because of this game, because I'm buying deluxe editions of these games. What else comes out in February actually? Is there a way for me to see it on Steam? I don't know if I can check on Steam, but give me a check here. Kind of realized I've been yapping for a good like 47 minutes. We're almost at the hour point, so I could potentially keep going for a little bit longer. What was it? Oh yeah. I'll go on IGN for this. So here we are on the IGN thing to see like what games are coming out this year, or this in general for like maybe the first couple of months. See what kind of catches my interest here. Let's see. We have Dune Crawl. Okay, these games have already been released, so I won't look into too much of this. Kind of keep going from here. I always wanted to kind of try the Orcs Must Die games, so we'll see. Oh yeah, Escape from Ever After. I am actually kind of curious about this game. I'll show it off in just a little bit, so kind of get ready for that one. But I am planning on buying this game. High Guard that released today. Fucking, it's gonna be the next Concord 2 over here. Seven Deadly Sins. I still haven't even seen the anime. Oh, Code Vein 2 also releases this month. Interesting. Along with the new Vampires game. Kind of interesting right there. Okay, February. So let's see, Neo 3. I do want to try that. Oh yeah, I forgot there's another Dragon Quest reimagined being released on February 5. Mario Tennis Fever, fucking Power Tour on Game Boy Advance, one of my personal favorites. Kiwami 3 and Dark Ties, that's February 12th. Fucking my vacation. High on Life 2, need to play the first one. Resident Evil, oh yeah, these two are going to be released on the Switch too. I'm not going to spend $500 for a Switch 2. Sorry, not sorry. Aquarium also on the 27th, so yeah. March, you have basically Monster Hunter Stories 3, Solasta 2, Pokemon Pokeopia, what the fuck is that? Life is Strange. Oh, Mouse PI for Hire, that also releases in March. That's actually kind of interesting right there. Oh yeah, fucking Pragmata in April. I forgot, there is a demo for the game too. I do want to try the demo for that too, so I'll also stream that at some point. So that's going to be a fun little thing that I want to do. and then I'll try to see which console I'll play that game for as well. I am kind of excited for Pragmata. I did actually play the demo off stream, and it was very interesting. I kind of do like the concept of like hacking into robots to deal extra damage in. So, I'm excited to be playing that one. Forza Horizon 6, I don't really care. 007, maybe I'll try 007 at some point. Let's see, Grand Theft Auto 6, if that does happen. And that's basically it. I keep forgetting. Oh my god, there's an Atomic Heart 2 in development. Holy shit. Oh yeah, I forgot Borderlands 4. That's the other one. That needs to be updated because they announced Bubsy 4D is going to be coming on May 22nd, which potentially I might be playing that game, but I do need to stomach Bubsy 3D, so God only knows what's gonna happen. Where's my phone? My phone's right behind me. Alright. Just wanted to kind of check my phone just to see if anybody called me or if anything important, like from the work side of things. Luckily, hasn't really done anything. But kind of just getting a little bit, what's it called? Distracted from, like I hear kids playing outside along with like some car tinkering, so a little bit of getting a little bit like sidetracked here, but we're nearing the end of our stream for today, and honest to God, oh yeah, I forgot there's another Black Myth in development. I do need to try Black Myth, so another game that I need to kind of try out at some point. Also, Control Resonant along with Danganronpa 2x2. I need to get back to Danganronpa. And yeah, oh yeah, Persona 4 Revival. That has to be updated, because also this needs to be updated too. This game got canceled. This game got canceled and basically resulted in Ubisoft like completely getting like getting heavily hit. Oh yeah, Scott Pilgrim EX. That's also another one. There's a lot of Slay the Spire 2. That is a nightmare for me. And a couple of Star Wars games. So yeah, that's something right there. One thing that let's kind of like check on. So one thing I do want to do, and we'll take a look at some gaming news to kind of like conclude. Just to kind of conclude today's session for like 8 more minutes. So we're gonna look at some interesting gaming news over here. Nickelodeon. Wait, what the fuck is this? Nickelodeon Splat Pack. What is this? Is this like a Disney afternoon type of thing where like it has like a couple of old school games? So basically the website, so before I keep going, this is from a website called Gamatsu. I like to use this website a lot for most stuff. So let me take a quick look at this one. Let's see. By Limited Run Games and developer Mighty Run. Games like Every Day is a Saturday. Includes Our Real oh yeah, so it's basically like a compilation. So, okay. That's all I need to know. High Guard, fucking it's gonna be nicknamed Contra 2 in a couple of days or so. Invincible versus, I have not even seen Invincible. Dragon Quest. Soon. Like I said, we'll be playing Dragon Quest 1 in just a couple of minutes. Resident Evil Aquarium. I am excited to play that one when it comes out. Hopefully they do announce a demo. Dynasty Warriors 3. So, one thing that I do know about Dynasty Warriors as a whole is that the first game is a little bit different compared to what it would become later down the road with like 2 and maybe down now. The first game was mostly a fighting game akin to like Soul Calibur, Tekken type of thing. So that's generally all I know about Dynasty Warriors as a whole. So yeah. Hyrule Warriors, I own a physical copy of the original game, but I haven't found it. So that basically tells me that I really don't take care of my games anymore. Super Mario Galaxy movie. Maybe I'll watch it. Maybe I won't. We'll see. I did actually watch the first film. It was actually kind of interesting. But personally, I think this year I'm mostly interested in watching Zootopia 2. Which I know is out, but I just haven't gotten a chance to go to the theaters yet because I've been lazy as hell. Says that I went to fucking Dave & Buster's on Sunday. The fuck am I saying? Rayman 30th Anniversary Edition. Oh, you already know Ubisoft's gonna cancel this one. Ubisoft will cancel this thing in a heartbeat. Vampire Crawlers. I am actually very excited for this one. This actually releases on the 23rd. Oh man, February is really cooking right now. So you'll have Kiwami 3 that releases on the 11th or the 12th, and then the 23rd, the same week as Requarium, you're gonna be also getting that along with Vampire Crawlers, just the demo build. We have a stream plan for that week. We have a follow-up stream plan for that day. I'll watch this thing off. I'll watch this thing during the stream, so I'll do that. Let's see. Everything else. Oh yeah, I forgot about the developer direct. I have not seen it yet. I'll watch it during the Dragon Quest session, so that's gonna be something to look forward to. I am excited for this one, mostly because I think it's like a retelling of the Fable series or like a different type of storyline. The general thing that I know about the games is the fact that the creator, because I think this is not made by Peter Molyneux. I think it's by the same team that does for the Forza Horizon, which is what we see in the bottom. But to my knowledge, with Fable, is that Peter Molyneux makes like a lot of shit up about the games. Like, I think he said something about in the first one, like you can grow a tree for something and you can watch it grow or something. I don't remember. But that's generally all I know about it. Along with, actually, no, I lied. It's that one along with like a good karma, bad karma type of system that determines your ending. So it's like that's kind of cool. So I'll look into that one. Double Fine, isn't Double Fine the same people that did the Psychonauts? To which fucking I need to play Psychonauts still. Beast of Reincarnation. This is the one that's made by the Pokemon team. I am actually kind of interested in this one. I don't know when did they already announce a release date for this one? Also, fucking hell. It will also be available on Game Pass. Xbox. I don't know what you're doing with Game Pass right now because you increased the price twice last year. But yeah, I'm kind of interested. I'll look into the video again during the game stream. Beast of Reincarnation, I'm excited for that one. I don't know if they did announce it for a release date. Oh, we did look into it. I don't know. Forza Horizon 6, don't really care. But yeah, everything else here doesn't really look that interesting to me. So, yeah. Actually, this one right here, because I want to try this game out, Make Cafe on Electric Street. Just because like they have like some new collaborations, one of them being from SNK with Fatal Fury and the King of Fighters, that has me so curious. Metal Slug as well, and then La Mulana 2. Like, what the fuck is this game that makes it have like these weird collaborations with shit? Also, like, is this game like akin to like a Dave the Divers type of thing? Like you run like instead of like catching shit. Also, I just see the McDonald's logo or Wodonald's. What the fuck? I'm even more curious now than ever before. And then there you go. You basically see the one for the Ubisoft canceling the remake for Prince of Persia, which has led to some very bad Ubisoft being less or less type of thing. I don't know how to best save myself from there. Then I already talked about the Kiwami 3 demo already. And yeah, that's mostly everything that is very interesting in terms of content-wise of news. So yeah, nothing really is like hot popping out. There is this one right here for the 100 line Last Defense Academy, which I will say I have played the game, but in terms of like, I didn't really understand the appeal for it. Like, I played it for 5 hours and I kind of did get bored. Also, it could be because it's a tactical RPG, so I'm not a big tactical RPG type of person. So yeah, I think with that being said and done, we're nearing the 1 hour point, and I do kind of want to start playing right now. So we're gonna kind of wrap it up for today's session of Flipping the Script. Honest to God, it has been a pretty good session. There's not a lot of things, or there's a couple things I did kind of want to add, but it is already kind of like late afternoon, and I kind of want to go up to like 10. So I do want to kind of get a lot of stuff done today. So we're gonna kind of call it for there. I will switch it back over to the PS5, and I also have to go to the bathroom. So yeah, I think with that being said and done, that is going to be a wrap up for today's first look at the beta script of Flipping the Script. We'll see how this goes, and then maybe I'll come back more down the road. But Twitch, stay tuned. In just a couple of minutes, we'll actually be playing Dragon Quest 1 and 2 HD Remake. YouTube, I will see you tomorrow for the part or for the full playthrough of this one. And yeah, like I said, I have to go to the bathroom, so I will see you guys. Well, YouTube, I'll see you tomorrow, but Twitch, I'll see you in a couple of minutes. So, yeah. Also, once again, the video or the music that we have been listening to is relaxing JRPG music to sleep or study to by the YouTube channel called Gaming Productions. And we're wrapping up with Growlancer, Wayfarer of Time. So, with that being said done, YouTube, I will see you tomorrow. Or, I'll see you for the archives.